Welcome to the F3 podcast,
where we talk food, football, and fantasy football.
Hey Erin, how are we doing today?
Good, John. How are you doing?
Good. So this is our new podcast.
This is the inaugural episode of the F3 podcast, which we just came up with a few days ago, and we thought we would launch right into it.
Let's do this.
Okay.
Let's a little explain about what we're trying to do here.
And maybe who we are.
Who we are. So first of all, we're a husband and wife duo.
Yes, from Vancouver Island, Canada.
Yes, and we're both football fans. One of us knows the game a little bit better than the other one.
And one of us knows food a little bit better than the other one.
And can we guess who's who?
Let's see if our lovely listening podcast audience could guess who it is. It's not maybe who you might think it would be.
That's right. Because I am actually a trained chef.
And I am a trained journalist who also hosts a football podcast.
And I host a food podcast.
Look at us.
There we go. So we thought, let's combine this. We're always talking football. You're always dragging me out to football events all the time.
And you're dragging me out to food events all the time.
So we thought how we could combine this and how we could bring in the atmosphere of playing with food and watching one of our favorite pastimes.
America's game.
That's right.
We're not going to be talking about America's team, though. For all you football fans, that would be the Dallas Cowboys.
See, Erin knows a little thing or two about football.
We'll throw in a little trivia here and there. You'll probably throw in some food trivia.
Exactly. But basically what we thought this whole podcast was going to be about introducing people to the game of football. Erin can teach me a whole bunch of great ideas about what to do, how to experience football, what the plays are, and we'll just slowly move through the season and go all the way to the end.
Talk a little bit about fantasy football as well, and then vice versa. You will talk a lot more about food, kind of what food goes well with football, why food and football are such an integral pairing. We have some experiences to talk about that, especially at Super Bowl, some game time snacks, but not just those basic food conversations when it involves football. I think you're going to dig a little bit deeper into that, maybe even talk about some celebrity chefs and football and food.
Let's do this.
Let's do it.
Okay, so today we're getting into season's coming up really quick. We're about to begin.
Yes.
We've had a bunch of preseason games and everyone's ready to go. But your big thing right now is you're picking your fantasy football team.
I am. And I will be completely honest. We are taking it pretty late this year. It's just a few days before basically it's Christmas for football fans. As many of on Thursday, this coming Thursday, it's going to be the inaugural game for the 2025 NFL season. So it is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football. I am doing my draft 2 days before that game. So we are keeping it very tight. But the advantage of that is that I can snoop on other people's drafts and see what the buzz is out there online, because a lot of people have done theirs already. So that's how I'm spinning it this year.
And for someone who's never played fantasy football, what is it?
So it's actually a really good question, because I have followed football for years and years, since probably I was 6 years old, went to my first Canadian Football League game with my dad way back when, and I've grown for my love of the game has definitely grown over the years, and it's obviously expanded to the NFL. I've only played fantasy football and participated in it really seriously for the past 3 years. And it's like any other professional sport out there where you can have these mock or these fantasy teams where it can or can't involve money. Sometimes it involves different events, or there's a thing you have to do for the winner, a thing you have to do for the loser at the end of the season. There's a variety of ways of doing it.
So a little bit of razzing and making fun of and making people feeling awesome.
Some pretty good names out there. My fantasy football team, if I can say it, is Every Inch Counts. You just have fun with it. Essentially, it's like a draft for any other professional sport. So it's a time draft. You go in different rounds with whoever else is in your league with you. So we have a league of 10 other people, and you get a variety, X amount of rounds that you get to choose from. You initially get to pick completely based on lottery, and you essentially build the best fantasy team that you can, so that you could score the most points and ultimately win your fantasy football league at the end of the year.
Let me get this right. So you're going to pick one You're going to go in a round robin that you've predetermined.
Yes.
Or has been selected somehow for you guys.
Yes.
And then you each get to pull one person off the roster.
Absolutely. As when your turn comes up and you have a certain amount of slots, every league is a little bit different depending on how you play fantasy. So we've changed our league this year a little bit. Generally, fantasy teams only involve offensive players because, again, the goal is to get the most amount of points. Defense doesn't really score points for you. So we've completely eliminated defense off of our fantasy league this year. So it's purely offensive players. You want to pick the offensive players that will ultimately get you the most points.
And to be perfectly honest with everyone, the reason I have Erin here today is because literally she devotes 2 or 3 days of her life just to picking her team.
That's right.
And reading every stat about every player, and then goes through her head, do I pick a quarterback or running back? What do I do? How do I do this? And so I thought the only way I'm going to get a chance to talk to my wife is actually bring her on a podcast here.
Yeah, let's be honest. Tomorrow is draft day for me, like I said. And as soon as I'm done work, we've got about a 2-hour buffer before the draft begins. And I probably won't be having any conversations with you before then. And then you may hear some swearing, yelling, and other sort of things behind the laptop screen of mine. So just be prepared for that.
Yeah, no, we're going to do a little recording on this one, but I'll make sure we censor it really well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, a lot of beeping.
Okay, so now you got to pick your team. How many players are you picking again? 10, you said?
More than 10 because you get a certain amount of quarterbacks. And again, it depends. Every league is set a little bit differently. So you are allowed a certain amount of quarterbacks, certain amount of receivers, running backs, tight ends, things like that. And then additionally,
You said
tight end. Tight end university for all of those people out there that might get that reference. That's one of my favorites. But you get a certain amount of bench players as well that you can bring up during bye weeks or if your players get injured. So it really does depend a little bit. But yeah, strategy again, most points possible.
All right. And how much time are you devoting tomorrow to pull off this draft? Because you have time limits between picks, right?
Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, absolutely. The draft time limit for each person, I believe, is 5 minutes, but it could, again, vary. It might be 3. So it just depends on what you use to draft. We're using Yahoo Fantasy, which is probably the most popular draft program out there.
And that just makes it easy because they keep track of all your stats.
100%.
They let you know instead of you actually having to go through and calculate and watch every single game.
Exactly. And they show you what available players are left, how well they rank. The computer does all that work for you.
Sounds super easy.
Yeah, let's do it.
Totally. All right. So now you're sat down there. You're positioning yourself around, getting ready for the big event to happen.
Yes.
All right. The first person gets the pick. Who are they picking?
So I was very lucky last year, which is maybe why, and I'm going to boast a little bit, I came in second last year in my fantasy draft and my fantasy team. And I fortunately got to pick second last year. So I went with Christian McCaffrey. And you know, I have this theory because at the end of the day, it's all about getting the maximum points. That really, and it is quite controversial take in fantasy football, but I am of the school and I am definitely of the belief that drafting a quarterback and a really good quarterback first is a great strategy because ultimately at the end of the day, they will get you a lot of points.
They're the playmakers,
They're the
right?
playmakers. A lot of people disagree with me. A lot of people will 100% go with running backs, and that is a whole theory behind that as well. Last year, I broke my own rule. And I went with a running back. I went with Christian McCaffrey, which was great for most of the season until he got injured with the 49ers. And then my whole strategy went out the window. It is what it is.
Because you last year did fairly well, right?
I did. What did I say? Second place?
Second place?
Second place. That's right.
A little silver trophy I see next to your name on the screen
that might be right. Yeah, I'm kind of staring at it right now. So, yeah.
And so what makes you the big expert on football other than you read and study and spend all the time doing this?
Honestly, it's a self-imposed title.
You always teach me a thing or two.
Well, thank you.
And you have always dragged me around to so many.
I have. That's true. Speaking of teaching things, though, you are the expert. And I don't think this is necessarily as self-imposed as my title is, but you are certainly the expert on food. And I know like I said, I will probably go straight from work tomorrow back to my computer to double check and just question myself and my fantasy players. Draft starts 2 hours later. It's getting into the evening time. I might be getting a little hangry. I need some brain food. This is where you are the expert.
This is what I wanted to get in with you because here's what I'm thinking. Tomorrow it's about brain food.
Yes.
You got to be thinking, you got to be on your ball, you got to be reading stats, you got to know what's going out there. So I was just going through and picking some foods that are generally just very good health foods for you. If you're getting ready for something like this, eating nice fatty fishes, something like a salmon, mackerel, those all have a lot of amino acids in it that just help bring you along. I know that's not your thing.
We should let people know I have been basically for the length of my time being a football fan is the same amount of time I've been a vegetarian.
Yeah, and she married a chef. So.
Yeah, so that's fine.
So I'm going to torture you. But that's okay because there's lots of other great ingredients. I'm just going to run through some ingredients.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then I think I know what I'm going to prepare for you tomorrow when you're ready for making your pick. Right?
I like it.
I'm talking so blueberries are a great antioxidant. We've got turmeric. That's going to charge your brain cells up a little bit. Fresh broccoli, high in antioxidants. Vitamin C, that's going to get you pumped. Dark chocolate, get those energy going. Nuts. Leafy greens and whole grains are just great vegetables. And then you need a bit of vitamin C, so let's get some nice citrus in you. And then we're looking in beets will help get that blood flow going in you. So that's going to create a little bit more energy for you. But what I'm thinking about for sitting down, because you're going to be reading, you've got a lot of stuff going.
Yep.
I want to think about just a straight up, and this goes straight to football, good old guacamole.
There it is. I was waiting. I was like, these foods sound absolutely delicious, but are they fantasy football foods or even football foods in general? How do you make them football foods? Because I think when people think food and football, they think nachos, they think, chicken wings, they think greasy foods, they just think dips. How do you bring that to the level that you were talking about?
And that's what we're going to do. We're going to start bringing in as we keep going on this podcast and talk about some of these foods that we can bring in. I can do a little spin on some things. But for today, we're just talking straight up guacamole. So here's simple ingredients, right? So 3 ripe avocados. You want to make sure they have a nice dark skin and they're a little bit soft, right?
You got to squeeze those avocados.
Just squeeze those avocados. You're going to need a lime juiced, some salt. I would say you could use white onions, but I would rather go with some fresh shallot. You can get them diced up. So a shallot, a little bit that between garlic and an onion. So super beautiful in there. A nice fresh jalapeno, just to add that little bit of extra spice. And then we'll finish it off with some fresh cilantro, a little bit of concassade tomato, which is basically tomatoes that you've just removed the seeds. And then if you take the skin off, actually, you'll take one, drop it in boiling water, then in an ice bath, you'll peel the skin off so it's got a nice soft texture.
Okay, what was the name of that again?
Concassade.
I think that's the new name of my fantasy football team.
The concassade tomato?
Yeah.
You're on it.
Got them beat right there.
There you go. So remove the seeds, give them a quick dice, fold them in there. And so when you're mashing up the avocado there, you want to use a fork because that's the way to do it. Guacamole should have a little bit of chunk to it, a little bit of texture to it. I don't want this creamy, smooth thing. So then we're just going to throw all that together, mix it up really quick. I like to do a lot of fresh cilantro, just coarsely chopped, tossed in there. And then, of course, just a little bit of cumin, just to add that little bit of depth to it, that sort of earthy tones. And there you go. I think you've got a beautiful little dip, some nice taco chips, and you're laughing.
I think chunky tomato chips might be a really good fantasy name as well.
You bet.
Yeah.
And it's nice and fresh, nice and quick, and you're going to have time to sit down there and really focus and get some real brain energy going.
So how soon before the draft should I be eating this?
I think this is one of those ones that you go into the draft. This is going to keep you pumped, keep you going, keep you happy. Yeah.
All right. I like it. I like it. Okay. So we've talked food. We've talked fantasy. Have we talked a little bit of football itself?
We need to talk a little bit about football. What are your predictions this year for football?
Well, that's a big question. So the first game, like I said, is Thursday night with the 49ers versus the Ravens. That's a big picture question. It is really early on. But just based on what I've seen last year, personally, I would love to see Detroit get in this year. I don't know whether they're going to be able to pull it off. They've made such huge strides. They've made incredible improvements with head coach Dan Campbell. He's been absolutely amazing, brought the team and elevated it to a new level, and Detroit 100% deserves that. Whether they can take it all the way to the Super Bowl this year, I'm not 100% sure. I would personally really like to see that.
Can I say I was really heartbroken last year?
Yeah, you really got into that
I
game.
never really picked NFL. We're going to talk a little CFL because that's where I come from, but I just fell in love with the team this year. And there was just something about them being a bit of an underdog. in the final game there and coming back and almost making it all the way.
Yeah.
So that I like your prediction where you're going with that one.
I don't think it's really a far reach to say that Kansas City will be a good Super Bowl contender or likely get back to the Super Bowl this year. It would be absolutely incredible and, again, historic if they could win, because no other team in the Super Bowl era has won 3 championships in a row. So that would be an incredible feat to witness. Whether they can do it again, I don't know. I think that they will definitely make it far into the playoffs. Whether they make it actually into that championship game will obviously be to be determined, but they're right up there as well.
And now for everyone, full disclosure, if everything went your way and everything could be absolutely perfect, who would you want to see?
Who would I want to see? I would like to see 100%. I would like to see Kansas City. No, I was never a huge Kansas City fan, nor am I a massive Kansas City fan. I think I appreciate Patrick Mahomes. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback. He's a generational quarterback. Just being able to witness what he does with the team and Andy Reid is absolutely amazing. So for the purely historical value, I would like to see the 49ers back into it. And I don't know if San Francisco, I highly doubt we'll see a repeat of last year. So I don't think San Francisco will make it back in. Maybe LA, and this time maybe being the Chargers for the team from LA. I would really like to see that. But other than that, it might just be a repeat of the first game on Thursday. It might be the Ravens versus the Chiefs. That would be also a really good Super Bowl. Yeah, absolutely. Super Bowl is in New Orleans this year. It's always nice to have the hometown team in the Super Bowl, but I don't think
oh my God, and think of the food.
Oh my gosh, the food. I don't think New Orleans is the Saints aren't Super Bowl bound this year. If they are, I will eat meat. I will break my my almost 40-something years.
Creole.
We are having it. We're doing it. We're going all in if they make it. So you can hold me to that.
I will hold that to you.
I don't think that they're going to be making it. But Super Bowl in New Orleans this year would be actually a football and a foodie's dream.
Oh, I'm totally with you on that one. That's maybe why we started this.
Exactly.
Because this year is about food and football.
100%. And we're better than New Orleans.
Now, talking complete fantasy, because it's not going to happen. Your team.
Oh, Seattle. I don't say never. Hey, I don't like that attitude. I would not say never. I think this is going to be a very interesting year for them with a new coach. Whether they're going to be an absolute enigma without head coach Pete Carroll this year, I'm not sure. I'm very curious to see the first maybe quarter of the season, and that might give us a good indication of where this team is going with a new coach. And it sounds like a ton of changes going on there. Never say never. I think their chances of making it back to the Super Bowl this year might be slim. There's 32 teams and 2 have to make it, so they could be one of them.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, let's hope
for you, because it'll make everything better for both of us.
It would.
Happy wife, happy life.
There it is.
I think that's enough for our show for today.
Yep.
Thanks for tuning in.
This was our inaugural episode, like I said, of the F3 podcast. We've got one game coming up on Thursday, and then it's, like I said, Christmas in September for football fans this weekend as the NFL returns for the 2025 season.
And now we're going to split it on the spot because we talked about this.
We did.
We're going to pick a team each episode.
Yes.
And then do food around that team.
I think that's
or
a
that
great
region
idea.
Or wherever they're at.
Yes.
So let's talk about maybe we'll just pull it out of the hat here. Mm-hmm. We'll just reach into the bag.
Oh, I've got a good one.
You got it?
I've got
pull it
actually
out.
a good team for you to start with that.
All right, let's pull that team out. What's that team?
We're going to start with one of my friends' favorite teams, my co-host on another podcast and the NFL Report podcast. This is for you, Philip. Miami Dolphins.
Oh,
let's do Miami food.
Miami food. Challenge accepted.
Yes.
All right, tune in to our next episode.
Yep.
I'm Chef Jonathan Fraser.
And I am Erin Halstuck.
Check out our other podcasts, the Edible Valley podcast.
And the NFL Report.
Yes, you can hear us there as well. All right, thanks for listening.